This is not just another race car. This is the Audi Sport Quattro S1E2, a fire-breathing monster that changed racing forever. With flames shooting from its exhaust and a sound like thunder, this car conquered the most dangerous races in the world. Built in the mid-1980s, this incredible machine had almost 600 horsepower and could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.1 seconds on gravel and dirt. With only about 20 of these cars ever built, seeing one is like seeing a unicorn. Today, we're diving into the full story of the Audi Sport Quattro S1E2. How a small German car company invented four-wheel drive for race cars and created a legend that rally fans still talk about almost 40 years later. The story begins in the late 1970s. Audi was not famous for making sports cars or race cars. They mostly made nice, comfortable cars for everyday people. But a few engineers at Audi had a crazy idea. What if they put a four-wheel drive system in a race car? At that time, all race cars sent power only to the rear wheels or the front wheels, not to all four. Most people thought four-wheel drive would be too heavy and complicated for racing. But Audi's engineers believed it would help cars go faster on slippery surfaces like snow, gravel, and dirt. They tested their idea in a racing series called the World Rally Championship. This wasn't racing on smooth tracks. This was racing on regular roads, mountain passes, forests, and deserts. The conditions were always changing and often dangerous. Audi's first four-wheel drive rally car was called the Quattro, which simply means four in Italian. It debuted in 1980 and immediately started winning races. Other teams were shocked. The Quattro could accelerate faster and corner better on slippery surfaces than any other car. But rally racing was getting more competitive. By 1983, other companies were making their own four-wheel drive rally cars. Audi needed something even better, so they made a shorter, lighter, more powerful version called the Sport Quattro. This car was amazing, but Audi's engineers still weren't satisfied. In 1985, they created the final evolution, the Sport Quattro S1E2. The E2 stands for Evolution 2, meaning it was the second major update of the design. This car was the most extreme rally car Audi ever made. It had huge wings, air inlets, and a body made to create downforce, to push the car down onto the road at high speeds. The S1E2 was built specifically for a type of rally racing called Group B. These were the fastest, most dangerous rally cars ever made. They had almost no rules limiting their power or design. Sadly, Group B was banned in 1986 after several deadly accidents. This means the S1E2 raced for less than 2 years, making it even more rare and special. Even though its racing career was short, the S1E2 left a huge mark on motorsport history. It showed the world that four-wheel drive wasn't just for off-road trucks. It was the future of performance cars. Today, many of the fastest sports cars in the world use four-wheel drive systems inspired by the original Audi Quattro. The heart of the S1E2 is its incredible engine. It's a 2.1-liter 5-cylinder engine with a massive turbocharger. In its final form, this engine produced about 590 horsepower, more than some modern supercars. But in a car from the 1980s that weighed just 2,400 pounds, the turbocharger was so big that it created something called turbo lag. This means when the driver pressed the gas pedal, there was a small delay before all the power arrived. When the turbo finally kicked in, the car would suddenly shoot forward like a rocket. Drivers had to learn special techniques to deal with this turbo lag. One of the most amazing things about the S1E2 was its acceleration. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.1 seconds. This was almost unbelievable in the 1980s. Even most modern supercars struggled to beat this time today. On some surfaces, the car could accelerate from 0 to 100 miles per hour and back to 0 in less than 10 seconds. The S1E2's four-wheel drive system was very advanced for its time. It sent power to all four wheels all the time, giving the car incredible grip on any surface. The system used 3 differentials, special gearboxes that divide power between wheels. to make sure each wheel got the right amount of power at the right time. The body of the S1E2 looks wild, with huge wings and air scoops everywhere, but every part had a purpose. The front spoiler, side skirts, and rear wing all helped keep the car stuck to the ground at high speeds. The many air inlets helped cool the engine, brakes, and transmission, which got very hot during racing. Inside the car, there's not much comfort. It's all business, with a simple dashboard full of switches and gauges. The driver sits in a racing seat with many safety belts. There's a special handle next to the gear stick for the handbrake, which rally drivers use to slide the car around tight corners. The S1E2 had a manual transmission with 5 gears. Changing gears in this car was not easy. The clutch was very heavy, and drivers had to be very quick and precise. Some versions even had an early version of paddle shifters behind the steering wheel to help change gears faster. One of the coolest features was an anti-lag system. This clever system kept the turbocharger spinning even when the driver wasn't pressing the gas pedal. This reduced turbo lag and helped the car accelerate faster out of corners. But it had a dramatic side effect. It made flames shoot from the exhaust. The S1E2 also had special rally tires made just for this car. These tires had to work on many different surfaces, sometimes even on snow and dry pavement in the same race. The brakes were also specially made to stop this incredibly fast car from high speeds on rough roads. The Audi Sport Quattro S1E2 is one of the rarest race cars ever made. Experts think only about 20 were built, and many of those were crashed or taken apart after their racing days. Today, perhaps only 10 complete original S1E2 cars still exist in the world. Most of these cars are in museums or private collections. Audi keeps some of the most important ones, including the car that famous driver Walter Röhrl drove up Pikes Peak, a mountain race in Colorado, in record time in 1987. This was after Group B was banned, but Audi wanted to show what the S1E2 could really do. The value of an original S1E2 today is almost impossible to calculate because they almost never come up for sale. Experts think a real one would easily sell for several $1,000,000 if it ever went to auction. Some companies now make replicas, copies of the S1E2 that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Audi Sport Quattro S1E2 became famous for its drivers as much as for the car itself. Rally legends like Walter Röhrl, Stig Blomqvist, and Michel Mouton all drove these cars. Mouton was especially notable as one of the few women to compete at the highest level of motorsport, winning many rallies in the Audi Quattro. Even though Group B only lasted a few years, it created some of the most beloved race cars ever. Fans still talk about the golden age of rally, when these incredibly fast and dangerous cars raced on public roads with almost no safety barriers, and thousands of spectators standing just feet away from the action. The sound of the S1E2 is unforgettable, a deep 5-cylinder growl followed by the loud pop and bang of the turbocharger and anti-lag system. Many people say it's one of the best-sounding race cars ever made. At idle, it sounds angry. At full throttle, it sounds like a weapon. The S1E2's influence on car design continues today. The 4-wheel drive system pioneered by Audi is now used in most high-performance cars. The idea of using turbochargers to get more power from smaller engines is now common in regular cars too. Audi still celebrates the S1E2 in their modern cars. Their high-performance models still use the Quattro name. In 2010, they created a concept car called the Quattro Concept that was inspired by the original Sport Quattro. And in their racing programs, they still use technology that can be traced back to the innovations of the S1E2. The car has appeared in many video games, introducing new generations to this legendary machine. Millions of people who were born long after the S1E2 stopped racing have driven virtual versions in games like Dirt Rally, Gran Turismo, and Forza Motorsport. If you're ever lucky enough to see an Audi Sport Quattro S1E2 in person, at a car show or museum, take time to look at all its crazy details. Look at the massive wing, the wide body, and the huge turbocharger visible through the engine compartment. And if you're extremely lucky and hear one running, you'll understand why this car became a legend that rally fans still worship today. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed learning about this amazing rare car. Subscribe for more videos about the world's rarest German cars. Let me know in the comments which rare car you want to see next.